Hi, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Did everyone see that tweet last night? In case you didn't, here's what I'm talking about. Okay, SpaceX. Dropping some BFR, which is their big Falcon rocket. And BFS, so the big Falcon rocket is kind of the whole system. And they're going to be updating it here and announcing that on Monday out at SpaceX's headquarters in Hawthorne. And thank you to people like you that support what I do, and especially my Patreon supporters. I can afford to fly out and cover it with you guys. So I will be there. I will be at SpaceX headquarters, flying out from Iowa on Sunday to be there by Monday to cover it for you guys live. I'm going to try to live stream maybe, depending on what kind of the rules are and stuff. I was just at SpaceX headquarters about a month ago, as you may know, when I went and saw the Crew Dragon capsule and the spacesuit. But now we have this to talk about because, boom, SpaceX is going to be updating us big time. It looks like they've made another set of huge changes. So this is the third year in a row that SpaceX is kind of making changes and updating their new spaceship. Every fall it seems to be the case. You know, every fall they're like, hey, we're gonna tell you our new plans for how we're gonna make this thing happen. And here we are. So this is what they said in the tweet 20 hours ago. SpaceX assigned the world's first private passenger. I'm very confused why one person would be in like a 100-seat vehicle to fly around the moon aboard our BFR launch vehicle. An important step towards enabling access for everyday people, everyday astronaut, who dream of traveling to space. Find out who's flying and why on Monday, September 17th. I like the "and why" part. I'm guessing they're going to have their own crew. Maybe it's something to do with NASA as well, but maybe they're signing up people. We have a ton to talk about. This is absolutely insane. And you're right. I am really sad. I debated flying out today so I could try to catch the Delta II, the last Delta II that will ever be flying. I could have maybe caught that had I left like right now. But I'm just going to stream that for you guys tomorrow from the comfort of my studio here. So here's the deal. Everyone's going crazy about speculation, which is great. That's the fun of all this. So what we've noticed, first of all, is they seem to have changed the Raptor engines, which are methane-powered engines, which no one has flown a methane-powered engine to date, but they seem to have really got it to the point where they're having 7 vacuum-ish optimized engines, but some people are going a step further and saying maybe they're not going to do vacuum-optimized engines. Maybe all of these are going to be sea-level engines, and they are going to push. Notice that there's that weird thing right here. People are saying maybe they could push that out to make a vacuum bell extension, like an extended nozzle for the entire ship. That makes it so that the engines are more efficient in the vacuum space, which the BFS operates in the vacuum space every second of its operation except for its landing burn. That's the only time that those engines need to be able to operate at sea level. And vacuum engines, typically, they kind of can operate at sea level, but with those big giant nozzles that they have, you know, vacuum engines are like significantly wider. You know, in the case of the Falcon 9, there's 9 non-vacuum optimized sea level engines on the first stage, and there's only 1 vacuum optimized Merlin engine on the upper stage, and that one bell is as wide as kind of 3 across on the bottom. But vacuum engines can work on sea level. The problem is they suffer what's called combustion instability, and that's because they're so over-optimized that the air kind of pressures it and creates these big pressure waves, and you can destroy the engine that way. Not good. So, you know, people are saying maybe these are kind of more, not fully, you know, vacuum optimized. They're at a point where they'd be able to work at sea level, and then they use maybe that cone thing in the middle right here. These like ridges here could maybe extend to make some kind of vacuum optimized thing. That's crazy. That's awesome. Some other updates we see, a lot of people are speculating, and this is just pure speculation here, but it does look like the 2 lower delta fins here, that they might be hinged. And then there's also probably a set of canards up here as well, or another set of control surfaces up front. So this has led to someone on, I should remember, 40 Fly. Yeah, 40 Fly on Reddit has this amazing drawing up speculating upon that hinge design where they might be able to fold the whole, these delta wings up to a certain degree for re-entry, and I'll show you why they would want to do that, but then also have them extended downward for landing so there's a nice stable tripod configuration for landing. So, without further ado, why don't we pop on over to Kerbal Space Program. For those of you who don't know what Kerbal Space Program is, it's basically, it's where you can build rockets and things like that, and I just finished modifying Kerbal Space Program for myself so that we can do those hinged wings. That's why I had a little delay in our setup today. So I'm going to start off, I'm just going to real quick put a probe core in here, no big deal, and a big old battery. Let me know if you guys can hear the music. Maybe it's... There we go. If it's too loud, let me know. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this cranking out here. So I'm going to just build a really quick rough draft of a BFS, the spaceship portion, and we'll start to explain, why they would want those hinged wings. So I'm going to go with the biggest parts that are available now in Kerbal Space Program. These are 5-meter parts, mostly just so it's kind of in the same size and the same vein as everything else. Boom, 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 boom. We're just going to do this. I'm going to put about 6 of these here real quick. So this is going to be kind of the main fuselage part. Not too loud. Too loud. Ow, my ears. Well, we'll err on a little bit too quiet. There we go. Let me know if that's better. A little too loud. All right. I hear you guys. We'll try that. Oh, no. Not my Discord channel is going nuts. For some reason, at the last live stream, everything revolved around corn. I'm not sure why. Not the band, but just corn in general. And I still don't exactly know why. And they're kind of back at it. So the reason I'm putting a bunch of these in here is this thing is still... It's going to be very aerodynamically stable, but the flip maneuver that we have to do in order to land on its tail is extremely hard to do. So I'm just going to make sure that we have absolute ample to the billionth degree too many ways in order for this to really be too many reaction control wheels to make darn well sure this thing can flip and rotate. I am not using Ferrum Aerospace for the good aerodynamics, but yeah, this works good enough. So, and also just so it doesn't die, I'm also gonna just power it with some nuclear probe things too. But let's get to the oopsies. Let's get to the real build here. I can make it look like it has. Okay, so I have what's called Infernal Robotics, and these are basically you can do motorized powered hinges. And we're gonna go ahead and put 2 hinges on here for delta wings. And then we can program these to be able to basically say, let me make sure that's the right way. There we go. And then we're going to program these to lower and move in. I'm just going to set limits, and it'll be really cool. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of move this down a little bit here. It is back to the corn. Oh, dear God. Not this again. I thought we survived Cornopolis. Porncopolypses 2027. So I'm not actually going to put landing gear on. I noticed with the hinge, for some reason, it's not a big fan of landing gear. I'm going to make this look a little bit better here in a second. But what we can do is we can program... I'm not very good at this. I just picked this up today for the first time. So please forgive me. But we're going to go ahead and make it so our limits are 60 and 0 for both of these. 60 degrees and 0 degrees are the maximum that these things will go. So, oh, maybe I went the wrong way. Wait. Basically, we'll be able to fold these into 60 degrees, although that really didn't seem to... There we go. We could even go a little further. We can maybe go 70, like 75. And maybe 75 here. Oopsies. Okay, get out of here. We'll go to the ends there. There we go. That's kind of the configuration we'll see when this thing is out there on the pad. So what I want to do, just to make sure I program this right, I'm going to put it on some launch stability enhancers real quick, and just make sure that we can fold these properly. So yeah, again, just to reiterate, BFR is kind of the entire rocket, Big Falcon rocket. The BFS is the spaceship portion, the Big Falcon ship. That's the part that will hold people, land, drive around. All the cool stuff is on the BFS, basically. The BFB, some people call it, the Big Falcon booster, is just the booster portion. So I think if we do this and go to the end, it'll stop when it gets to... Yeah, look at that. Sweet, we did it right. And then these will fold back out, I think. I guess I have to hold it. But no big deal. We shouldn't have to do that except for re-entry. Okay. So, before we even really continue, let me explain kind of the idea here. So, obviously when you land a vehicle, you want like a tripod. You want your furthest out areas, you want as long of a stance as possible so you can land and it's no big deal. When you re-enter though, this would basically try to orient it no matter what nose first. It'd be like if you had a dart. You know how darts have fins in the excuse me, fins in the back. You throw the dart, the fins stabilize it so that it basically stays pointing forward. That's about what would happen here. If you were re-entering, almost no matter what, those fins are going to kick up and have leverage and make it so the nose points right back facing dead on forward. This makes it so that you can re-enter this way, have this be kind of the surface area that hits re-entry, and it won't have as much lift, but it'll almost automatically orient itself, because if it goes towards one side, it'll push more. If it rolls towards another side, it'll push even more on that side to kind of just no matter what correct itself. Plastic Pinocchio, hey, first off, thank you. Hey Tim, just wondering if this new BFS design means something. Are they trying to enlarge it, augment the payload, or can't they find the proper design? Thank you, first off, Plastic Pinocchio. So this is going to be a lot more. This will still be kind of the BFR that we saw last year, but this is them making it so you can actually use it. They're probably solving things like you really do need actual delta wings. There's a reason why they added those, and probably potentially hinge them. It is necessary for anything that's not a capsule to re-enter. You have to have some pretty large control surfaces. So yeah, that's. I don't think it means. I don't think they're going to enlarge it or change anything else. I think we're just kind of finally refining. We're seeing more and more and more what they're actually going to be doing here. Also, these all kind of lean back, so I want them to lean back and look cool, of course. And I'm actually just going to rotate this. And then I am going to push this in, though. Like that. Okay. And now, unfortunately, we can't auto-start anything, so that does not play very well with whatchamacallit either. So let's get this spaceship portion flying first and able to operate. Now here's the thing, those RS-25s. Hey Joshua, thank you very much, and thanks for the corn. Joshua says, love the videos. Thank you. So there's 7 engines now, and that will do it, 6 and 1. Maybe we could do, this would be probably, not super overpowering it. And we can kind of push these in. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use these, because these probably are about right as far as they're pretty vacuum efficient, but they still do work at sea level. Also, I'm going to make it so this tank is the last one to be drained. I always forget, is it plus or minus that drains it last? I think -1. So the problem is this would not be able to take off on its own, but that's fine. We probably don't ever need it to do that. I also want to make it so we can turn off all but one engine for landing if we want. I did say thanks to Joshua. Why? Wait, what? Did someone say I didn't say thanks to Joshua? Ooh, when is the Buron Energia t-shirt going to be released? I believe next month. So stay tuned. If I understand correctly, for the next live stream at KSC, we'll do a corn stream instead of potato stream. Hey! Oh, jeez. I should never talk about Iowa, should I? Otherwise, we're just going to get corn jokes. I'm going to go ahead and remove one of these tanks, just so our thrust-to-weight ratio, even from the get-go, is a little bit higher. Not much higher. I was thinking I'd kind of... Well, that might not look right, either. That is a lot of delta V, though. That's a ton of delta V. Well. Oh, well. So, what we're going to do now... I'm not going to worry too much about making crew cabins in there and stuff, but I do want to make sure we have the canards up top and things like that as well, because that's a pretty important portion of this whole thing. Failed intercom. How much more effective do you think the added control services will make the BFS as a whole? I think, and thank you for your tip, failed intercom. You know, I don't know if effective is the right word. I think it's just almost a necessity. You know, a lot of this stuff is physics, physics driven. The aerospace industry is physics driven. So that's why the space shuttle and the Buran looked identical. Obviously, there's a pretty good chance that, the Soviet Union did copy a decent amount of the space shuttle, but a lot of it too is physics driven. The space shuttle basically had to look the way it did because of physics. And so a lot of this is probably just them understanding, wind tunnel testing and things like that, what it's going to take to re-enter something like this. And I think that's what we're seeing is that optimization. All right, let's do this and this and this. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if, I don't think that will make it more, what was the word, effective. I think, like I said, we're just seeing physics happen is what we're seeing. And hopefully we get a good enough update that we learn a lot from it. We learn a lot about why they made these changes. That's always my favorite part, is learning everything you can about this stuff at these press events. So I'm making sure that we have a ton of reaction control systems. A ton. Because that's going to make us able to flip around and things. Otherwise, I don't think this will have enough control on its own. So I'm just going to do this. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, good enough. And then we'll do one more here. So we can rotate like that, and then we'll do a bunch at the nose too. 8 up at the nose. I do that almost every time, go too far. We'll angle these out so they kind of match the look of the... I hate that the shell, that I have to move the mouse off. Hope that I'm right. There we go, that's perfect. Okay, let's test this thing. We're gonna have to set it on some stands again, and make sure that we have enough. Wait until the thrust to weight ratio goes up high enough, and then we'll release the clamps and see if we can land this thing and control this thing at all in aerodynamic flight, because that's, again, probably the biggest change we're going to be seeing is this aerodynamic flight portion. So I could put a oh, Epic Future Space, it's Mike, it's Space Mike. It says try putting an MK3 crew capsule on top. We could do that. But let's go ahead and fire this up here until our thrust to weight ratio gets above 1 to 0, which, where's my thrust to weight ratio? Let's edit vessel. Wait, close editor. Let's edit HUD1 and add our vessel thrust to weight ratio. I hate when you I hate when you zoom and stuff, it zooms in the background. That's so ridiculous. Surface thrust to weight ratio, sure. And just regular old thrust to weight ratio. There we go. Well, look at that. Surface thrust to weight ratio and total thrust to weight ratio is the same right now because we're on the surface still. Alright. How to use FAR? I don't know. I don't use FAR. Oh, look at all this stuff. I didn't realize we have all that junk there. I kind of want to close this. That's ugly. Get out of here. But maybe we can't. There we go. We are above a 1.0 thrust to weight ratio. So let's do this. 3, 2, 1, hip hip. And we are very slowly taking off. But it looks good. Hey there, Chiro. From 1 to 10, how much do you want to see BFR? Would you dare to be one of the pioneers to fly it? Absolutely do not put me on anything new. I'm even afraid to fly on like anything flying today. I don't even think I'd fly a Falcon 9 right now. I'll wait until this stuff is crazy, super routine, and super normal, and then put me on it. But I'm a 56 out of 10 of how bad I want to see the first BFR fly. You better believe your sweet biscuits that I will 100% be there. It would take a lot for me to not make it to the first BFR launch. I kind of want to test to make sure these still work. Yes, they do. Okay. So we're slowly ascending. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and start pitching over because we're going to want to test. Those do flex quite a bit. Yeah, we are going to need, they will need landing gear on this, and they kind of were showing, oh, by the way, thank you, Chiro, but looks like people were saying there might be, like, telescopic landing legs at the end of each of these fins, which would be sweet. Yeah, that would make sense, a lot of sense, but yeah, we'll see. They don't want landing legs on the booster part, so it just lands right back in the launch cradle, basically. But for landing on, you don't have that on the moon or on Mars, so I think they're going to still need it. You can't really auto-strut, I don't think, because it goes crazy, but we'll try. Let's see if that totally bonks it. Yeah, auto-strutting. Oh. Hey. It does not mind. I swear it minded before. Sweet. Well, that's good news for us. Okay, so we're going to try getting our speed way up, our horizontal speed, just so we can kind of experience that re-entry profile. Or something similar to it. And since we're just testing this out, too, I might pop into the old cheat menu. I always forget to do that. Control, no. I guess that shows I don't use the cheat menu very much. I don't remember how to get into there. Command, I thought it was like Command Shift. Alt, F12? I have no idea. Well, we're probably going fast enough here, and we're going to get out of the atmosphere, so this is going to be good enough. Alt F12. It's not working. It's taking me to, like, sound properties. Thanks. Dang it. Oh, there we go. Well, I guess we don't need it now. We've got 809 meters per second left over. Alt F4. You guys are funny. I forgot I had to hold on function. So Alt Function F4. Okay, so let's speed this up here. We'll get to our re-entry. So we're going to come in pretty spicy just so we get a sense of, you know, how this is going to re-enter. So I'm actually going to save it right here real quick, just do a quick save so I can show you guys the difference. So right off the bat, I'm going to let this just come in at like a 45-degree angle, like this. Try to hold 45 degrees, and I'll show you what's going to happen. We'll do this, and then we'll fold the wings in, and we'll see if it's more stable. So let's see. Pretty soon it's probably going to start spicing up. And plastic, thank you. Here in Lombardy, northern Italy, We are called the corn stalk of Europe. Landscape is like Iowa, fields, pig farms, and hot, humid summers. That's awesome. I didn't realize that. That's very cool. I really, really enjoy France. I've been there. Oh, Italy. Crap. I've been to northern Italy, too. I really enjoy northern Italy, too. I've never been to Lombardy, I don't think. Okay, so check this out, by the way. Remember how I said these fins are going to basically force it to face prograde? Well, that's exactly what happened. And again, thank you, Plastic. Pinocchio, maybe I'll come say hi next time I'm out there in Italy. So, look at me. Even if I'm pulling up as hard as I can, we can't get up anywhere near a full 45-degree angle. We do have a lot of lift. As a matter of fact, we're able to point our nose up, it looks like. Look at that. We can actually increase our altitude. That's pretty great. But we're really having a hard time, you know, pitching up more than 45 degrees above our prograde vector. It's kind of not happening. And Chiro, please be there to cover BFR. Big hug from Brazil. Thanks for all the videos. Well, thank you very much, Chiro. I promise I will do everything humanly possible to be there for BFR. Thank you very much. And Torstein, Flat Earthers, they don't think it be like it is, but it do. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. Alright, so that's how that reentry looked like. Let's go ahead and take a look at a reentry with the wings folded in now and see how it differs. Hey, get back here. Remember when Neil Armstrong did a skip reentry in an X-15? He sure did. The X-15 was crazy. Alright, we're going to do this. Okay, so now we're going to see if we can try actually staying on that 45 degree like this, which is beyond 45 degrees beyond our prograde. Our prograde vector's way down here, so yeah. So let's see how this actually looks this time. My gut feeling is that it'll be able to hold this profile and this reentry profile basically all the way through. It won't have nearly as big of a problem maintaining this orientation. So let's see if I'm right. And by the way, did I do that right with the tanks? Is that the last tank? Yes, it is. Sweet. Shuttle was 43 degrees. Nice, Dino. So look at that. We're having no problems. As a matter of fact, it's having to pitch down extra. And it might flip around. I might have too much attack on that. But it's still holding itself relatively stable. I might have these wings a little too far. We might need to do only like 60 degrees. Oh, look, they're actually folding back. That's probably why. They're not very good wings. Well, do I have these auto-strutted? I forget. Yeah, I do. Wow. Nice wings. Hopefully that doesn't happen on the real thing. I very much hope that doesn't happen on the real thing. Let's try making it so the wings stop at like 60. And I'll make sure they're auto-strutted properly. So let's go in here, edit these groups. And we're going to make sure, we're going to say 60 is going to be what we want for the end stopper. Okay. Get out of there. And I'm also going to auto-strut this to the grandparent. Okay, let's try folding these back in. Oh, that might have been too strong now. Come on. No. Oh, there we... Wow, that's too far now. We'll just try auto-strutting them now that they are folded in. Probably beyond what we wanted, but at least it looks symmetrical. Let's just see if we can hold this now. I notice the G-forces are increasing quite a bit. Alright. Look at that. Look how the pitch isn't even having to change at all because it's actually able to hold this orientation without any problem. That's amazing. And now it's actually lifting. It is gliding back up. And we can still easily bleed off speed like this. So I'm actually going to try holding radial out now. I'm going to revert our wings back to here. Which I might not like that. So I'm going to use RCS to keep us properly orientated now. I'm going to reverse all of the authority on our wings. Or on our... all of this so it works with us instead of against us. And now we're going to see if we can land this thing using a... what does a single engine do? Single engine does not have enough thrust. Looks like we're using all 7. But we can actually start working on this descent like this. I'll have to bleed off a little bit of horizontal velocity. Is the amount of RCS fuel in KSP realistic to real-life rockets? Nothing is really that realistic in Kerbal. It can be kind of realistic, but in general, I have no idea, to be honest. Let's see if we can just hold this without any RCS, because we're wasting RCS just going down. Okay, so... do we have a... where's my... I don't have a suicide burn calculator on here or anything. I think stuff got changed in my world. Suicide burn calculator helps so much. Okay. So, here we go. We're going to have to light these engines up here any second. Totally guessing here. I might have turned them on too late. Or just perfect. Ho 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 ho. Oh my gosh. There we go. That's how you land the BFS. Just like that. First try without a suicide burn calculator or anything. Yes! That feels really good. Holy cow. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. We can do that. That's actually... yeah. That's awesome. Wow. That feels really, really good. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. AMG Wagon, love your videos. Always watch the second they come out. By the way, you have corn struggles in Ohio as well. Dude, any of us Midwesterners, especially, you know, Iowa, Idaho, Idaho, and Ohio, and Indiana, I feel like everyone just thinks they're the same state. Oh, yeah. All right, well, let's do the whole thing now. Are we hanging around for the Japanese launch? I don't have plans to stream the Japanese launch tonight, because I'll have to get up really early to... I'd much rather stream... oh no, don't tell me it didn't save that. Did I not save that? Oh, there we go. I'd much rather stream the Delta II tomorrow. That's going to be a way cooler launch. All right, so we've got a spaceship, guys. I feel really good about that. I'm going to tuck these engines in just a tiny bit inward. And I might tuck them up into the vehicle just so it looks more the part. Cool. That looks kind of like it. Oh, the Japanese got pushed back to the 17th anyway. Well, there we go. Good to know. Odin, perfect landing. How do I like new design versus old? I'll have to let you know. So far, I mean, honestly, every year I'm always like, man, I kind of like the old one. But I think this one, this almost looks like a blend between BFR and the ITS of 2016. You know, because the ITS had kind of 3 sort of finny things, and the the BFR had 4 kind of small finny things, and now we're seeing 3 kind of big finny things. Yeah. BFR 2018. Good ideas. Someone said name it. So we'll see. I think it always grows on me, though. You know, I'm one of those people that's always like, meh, and then I'm like, oh, I actually like it. So we'll start off with auto strut and the grandparent part. And thank you for your tip, by the way. That does mean a lot. It's tips like that that are able to get me out to SpaceX headquarters. So hopefully I can bring you guys some really, really cool coverage inside SpaceX. I actually got a separate hotspot streaming thing that I can hopefully, you know, live stream this thing perfectly for you guys. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do another probe core so we can land this booster perfectly. And I like the way these look. I don't like having black and white stripes on it. That's so not BFR at BFS. I'm going to put this up to the root part. This one can go root part. Maybe before I do that, I should put a battery in here quick. Hey. Okay, so now we're going to build the booster really quick. It's going to be pretty easy. So yeah, so it looks like people are confirming that the HTV, the Japanese launch, did get delayed. I would go to my website. Let's go to my website, see if it updated. This is something really cool, guys. I don't know if you guys have checked out my pre-launch previews yet, but this does dynamically update automatically. So now it does show the HTV launch. It already updated. Look at that. That's amazing. Big shout out to the people that helped me with this. Yeah, I couldn't do it without you guys. So if you guys aren't familiar yet, I do have this website, everydayastronaut.com. And you can go to pre-launch previews, and you can see little mission snippets of all upcoming missions. And it tells you just the things you want to know, the things you guys ask me on Twitter every day. You know, like, hey, what time's liftoff? Where is it? What's it doing? Who's the rocket? Blah, blah, blah. What are they? Blah, 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 blah. Where will I watch it? This will be the blah, blah, blah. There's all the facts you need to know right there in one easy-to-look-at table. So check that out, everydayastronaut.com. And then pre-launch previews. Do you think the new design can launch abort? That's a really good question, Caleb. I hope it does. I hope it can, and I hope they talk about that. Because to me, that's a non-negotiable. That is... I don't want to hear, oh, we're designing it to be like an airliner and be safe enough. Not at first. Maybe after, you know, 10,000 flights or something and you're 99.999 just like an airliner. Sure, go ahead. Then you can claim it's like an airliner, but at first, man, I don't want. That just scares the absolute crap out of me when they don't, when they don't talk about a launch abort in it. I really hope it has one this time. Oopsies. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna make sure it has some of that for the upper stage. Dang, Chiro, thank you again. I also like the old design, but you want BFR to fly, so if it needs to put wings on him. If you need a programmer for your site, call me. Awesome. Thank you so much. And Hans, thanks for your excellent and inspiring videos. Please visit Holland on your next trip to Europe. No spaceports here, but lots of fun things to do. Thank you, Hans. I want to go back to Holland. I've been to Amsterdam, driven around Holland a decent amount. I do love it. I'll have to do a European meetup sometime. I did one, I guess, in Paris. And there's a good amount of people that came and said hi. So if you guys are, I'll make sure and let people know next time I'm traveling Europe way. Let's see how tall this is now. This is 60. Let's see how tall it is without this stuff that I just added, because 25. That's this is kind of all half scale, so that might be a little tall. We're just gonna call it 2/3 scale and just kind of forget the fact that it's a little bit out of proportions. And dang, thank you guys. Riley, I think it'll be able to do an abort if the first stage blows up, but there probably is still no way for an abort of a second stage. Maybe future second stage failure, maybe 2.0. That's a good point. You know, the second stage still has a lot of things that could go wrong potentially. So I don't know if, we'll be able to do a launch abort with the second stage. Off the second stage, if there's an issue with the second stage. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Hopefully they do that. I'd rather that be in version 1.0 than version 2.0. That just seems like one of those things I don't want them to have to learn that lesson. But we'll see. We'll hear all about it Monday. I actually can't wait. Matt Horkin, is this design proof that all the naysayers who dunked on the space shuttle for being spaceplane were full of it? I want my spaceplane future. This is going to be pretty spaceplaney, I'm not gonna lie. Not quite spaceplane though, because it's not meant to really glide at all. That's just to be able to survive re-entry and orient itself through re-entry and act as landing legs as well. Or at least that's my perception. I could be wrong. Okay, so here's what I'm going to struggle with. We need to put a proverbial crap ton amount of engines. Maybe I just don't worry about an engine plate on this one. We need there to be enough engines to cry at. And our S-25s might be too big. Well, this kind of works. How many do we have there? That's 12. That's only 19 engines. We're down quite a few compared to what the actual BFR will have. But that might be enough. It's got a very high thrust-to-weight ratio, a lot of delta V. Maybe too high of a thrust-to-weight ratio. Yeah, we'll see how this looks. Half-size Rs. I don't have tweak scale on here, but otherwise you're right. If I could half-scale it, that'd probably be perfect. I do need to lower the gimbals on all these, because otherwise they're all going to knock into each other. I'll lower these to like almost minimum. Maybe we should have these a little bit. I'm nervous these are just going to shear off, though. Okay, so here's what we're going to do for this part, because it is going to have, I think, last we knew, something like this, and this is also how it will land. Not quite that dramatic, but I do want it to land on these, which would be hilarious. Although that might catch on fire. We'll see. But this also helps the BFB, the big booster portion, be able to glide a little bit more, too, through re-entry. I am not playing with Realism Overhaul. I'm just kind of dinking around in normal Kerbal. Oh, I'm off by a degree. Or two. Maybe I should put some landing gear on the end of these, although that will just shear right off. Both of those will... We're going to break these, but whatever. Unless I can land it smooth as a glove. Smooth as a baby's glove. We're going to be able to toggle these engines down so I have a little bit less thrust for the landing sequence with Action Group 6. All right, let's try this. Let's see if I can put one of these guys into orbit and recover the first stage in one shot without what? Excuse me. I hate when one just jumps around. All right, let's get those launch stability enhancers. Ta-da! Looks good. Put those on this action group. Okay. We've got thrusters up top to orient. Save staging. We've got staging good to go. Let's disable this fairing altogether. Fairing, not stage. But I'll still do that when I look at it. Alright, here we go. This is an interesting comment. I just want to do the integrated second stage with the payload carrying area. I would say the second stage is more complicated than the first and almost requires some form of abort system specific for the crew area during launch. I would hope so. I do hope so. But we will see. Stuff is clipping out of the fairing, and that's no problem. We need that. Those are the canards that are up top. All right, so let's see how we can do with this. I think it's gonna take off way too fast, but never hurt anybody. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, hip hip. Tell me if this is okay, if my new mix is better. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Notice, it's getting a little Willy Wonka here. We might have to auto-strut to the rope part here. We are fighting aerodynamic forces a little too much right now. So I'm going to do a very slow gravity turn. Mostly because I'm going to use the booster basically to just like put this up into altitude, not give it too much horizontal velocity. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Almost losing it. Almost losing it. And then we'll just let the second stage do the actual work. That way we have a lot more remains to get the booster back. So we're just going to use this to basically lob the second stage up there. And then we're going to see if we can't land all this stuff. If I land on those fins without breaking them, I'm going to cry. Okay, we're going to do about like this. That's plenty of not not a gravity turn. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What? Why did it just shear? We got way too much thrust on this first stage. Oh my gosh. As safe as a passenger airliner, says Discord. Says Aiden. Oh my god. Yeah. There we go. Let's go ahead and I think we'll just manually lower the power of these the RS-25 or we'll just do that. Or we could try to put some smaller engine in there the only problem is none of the other small engines have any decent thrust to weight ratio. Like at all. We could probably put like a ton of those in, but that's not going to be powerful enough. There is no good alternative. These take up as much space as the RS-25s, basically. I think I'm just going to lower the power output. It's going to go like 50 on all of them. Let's make sure that's enough. Yep, we're still going to be able to take off. That's about right. That seems more reasonable. Okay. Let's try again. Yeah, tweak scale would have been great. I should have had tweak scale installed. That's where you can change the size of things. I would have loved to just make the RS-25 half as big. That would be kind of funny to just use use the Twitch engines. All right, well, let's try this again. Turn it 90 degrees. That won't help too much. My thrust to weight ratio was 7. That's why it died. That makes sense. It broke the decoupler up here right away. That's why. Thanks, Riley. All right, here we go. Let's do it right on the downbeat of the song. How about that? Okay, here we go. 3, 2, hip hip. There we go. A little slower, more realistic launch. I did thrust limit them now. This looks better. That's cool. It's a little too fat, I think, almost. But darn it, that's cool. I don't think it's going to matter, Mike, because we're still... It's a triangle, so it doesn't really matter which way it's facing on its gravity turn. I know what you're talking about, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Ooh. We're already experiencing some fight here. Let's do a couple of these to the root part. Oh, thank you. Plastic. A good reason for you to come visit Italy would be that the Virgin Galactic is building a spaceport for private space flights in the south of the country. That is true. That would be awesome. That'd be so fun to watch. a Virgin Galactic flight out of Italy. Holy crap, that'd be awesome. Yeah, count me in for that. That would be amazing. I'm dreaming about that now. That'd be amazing. Oh, I should probably load HUD 2. Let's get surface and get our... Let's see here. Maybe that's orbital? The suicide burn? Or is that like miscellaneous? I should probably start pitching over. I'm going to do that while I'm trying to tweak this stuff. Wait, did I already try that one? Impact time. That's what we want, like that, but maybe it's vessel. Suicide burn. There we go. Altitude, distance, and delta V. There we go. Okay. We are back at it. Again, we're doing a very slow gravity turn. And not much of a gravity turn. We want to get this thing up to... We definitely need to get the spaceship a good amount above the atmosphere here. Remember, again, Captain, they say I took too long to do that turn. We're not doing much of a gravity turn with the booster, because the booster we're going to try to land back on land. So we're going to do a very lob trajectory where we go way more up, basically huck this second stage up into space, and keep it at that kind of. But the problem is we need enough time to be able to separate the two. Man, here we go. I want this. I'm just going to keep it like this for now. I'm going to do a quick save here. 450 meters per second. Totally guessing here. Very lightly so we don't destroy those. Okay, we have tons of delta V in this. So let's work on trying to turn this baby back around. This does not have enough delta V, I don't think, to get back. But we'll find out. Oh, that's going to be close. That's going to be real close. Okay, let's see if I can still switch. Nice! Okay, we're going to try getting this thing into orbit. And let's go ahead and go belly down on this baby so it looks right. Look at that! Are you a real person who can count? I can't count. And I'm not real either. Yeah, but it's the same with re-entry a little because of your lateral velocity compared to the flight trajectory, I believe. It would have mattered if I had the delta wings pitched in. Then we could have done that. But I don't think it matters like this. So let's just really lob ourselves out here, actually. So we have time to catch ourselves and catch this booster before it re-enters the atmosphere. I need as much time as I can. Right now we have 2 minutes. That booster's still going up. That's good. We have 2.5 minutes almost. It's starting to... about to come back down. So I'm going to have to switch to it here rather soon. This may not be enough time. Riley, that's a good question. Riley wants to know if they're still probably going to try to refuel. Ooh, I got a quick save here real quick. Wants to know if I think they're still going to try to refuel butt to butt. That's a great question. I have no idea. That's just one of those things that I think we're going to have to wait for to see on Monday. I think they will, because I think just in order to get on interplanetary missions, to get out to the moon, the refueling thing just makes sense. There we go. We got plenty of time now. Switch to. Let's see if we can land this thing now. Won't the first stage be an SST on the second stage wouldn't be launched without any fuel? No, the first stage will do pretty much like what we showed here. SSTOs are not really a thing, especially with that kind of payload capability. The second stage will be parked almost empty. Yeah, that's just kind of how that's going to work. Guys, we don't have near enough fuel to land this thing. Let's speed this up, see how we do. I went a little too... Alright, it's going to automatically orient itself because of those grid fins up top and the weight down below. I don't know what that is below, but we're coming down to land basically right on it. That's funny. Okay, so hopefully it scrubs off a lot of its own velocity here. Just through aerodynamic reentry. So now we have suicide burn coming up. Oh my gosh. In 600 meters, 500, 400. It is slowing down a lot. We might have enough to do this. Here we go. Oh. Come on, you dumb thing. Come on. No, 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 no. Oh. Almost had it. Almost had it. Definitely didn't have enough fuel margins to do a smooth re-entry, but we'll get it on another one. But for now, let's get back into this. Oh, dang it. That was close. That was close. Save some engines, that's right. I do have the reusability mod, I believe. Someone is talking about that. You're right. I do have that. What's the difference between possible safety precautions on the BFR and the shuttle? I don't know. That's one of the things we've been kind of talking about is, you know, hopefully they don't just make the same mistakes as the shuttle. But let's go ahead and put this thing into orbit quick. Because I don't think being airliner-like is good enough for safety. I want launch abort. I think that's a lesson that the space shuttle should have taught us. And I really hope SpaceX is taking that into consideration. We'll find out on Monday. Ugh, I can't wait. Here we go. Let's go ahead and put this baby into orbit. Okay, we are in orbit. Let's park at like 200 by 240. Good enough. Yeah, the space shuttle had so many close calls. It's scary. Yeah, I do love the space shuttle, but it also scares the crap out of me. All right, so now that we're in space, let's go ahead and let's fold these wings in. Maybe. Excuse me. Oh, wow. That happened so violently. That's too much. That's too much. I don't want that. 60. 60. That one stays 60, 60. Okay, why is it going to not 60? Good enough. Auto strut this now. Okay. Auto strutted, ready to go. That's the right amount of re-entry profile we want. Look at that. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see if we can re-enter. We're going to get around to kind of the other side of the planet a little bit so we can begin our re-entry profile. Something about like this. And we'll go ahead and begin lowering this thing. Hopefully we'll get some predictions on our trajectory here. Once we get below where our why isn't this working? Update now. It's not showing it. Complete. Body fixed mode. In flight. V target. Unset target. Descend profile. Prograde. Settings. Max patches. I don't know. Just do your thing. Show me the line. That's a mod that's supposed to kind of show you about where you're going to land. So I'm just going to be winging this super willy-nilly. Warning, trajectory. Well, you never started. Don't tell me you stopped when you started. What? Yes, please. Excuse me, trajectories. Would you mind showing me? It shows me the launch. It does that, but painted on the map. I wonder if it's borked. Oh, man. Well, we can try this. I have no idea if we're going to be anywhere near right. How low? 13,000 right there. Let's try it. I have no idea. We're going in. Sometimes you just gotta wing it. Life has taught me anything. It's just wing it. Get it? Wing it. Wing it. With the wings. Yeah, no. Alright. Re-entry time. Let's see how far this thing can glide. Oh, man. If we're re-entering up here, we're screwed. Alright, whatever. We're just going to hold this angle-age. Will I stream Exploration Mission 1 in 2020, 2 years from now? Of course. I'll be streaming as much stuff as humanly possible. Ooh, Fell Night. KSC is 0 degrees latitude and 74 degrees west. Well, thank you. That is... So we are going to be quite long, but maybe we're going to bleed off enough speed here. 74 degrees west. Okay. Or is that... Oh, geez, that's probably east already. Or something. I don't know. Well, we're not landing at KSC. We're going to try to land in what I call India, because it kind of looks like India. So if I ascend to a higher dimension, you won't be streaming anymore. Maybe. Clickbaity title? How is this a clickbaity title? We talked about it all the time. We spent the first X minutes talking about the updates. And then now we're showing you why it's gonna have these folded wings. I don't think this is... If you... Tell me if you think this was clickbait or if this is exactly what we're doing. And don't forget, I will be at SpaceX on Monday to actually show you guys. I'll try to live stream it from there, answer your questions before and or after, give it a deep rundown. So, yeah. It kind of was. What do you... People are asking why the wings are folding. We're showing you... We did that in the earlier stream. This is kind of meant to be posted online afterwards. I know we're already coming up on an hour. No one's going to watch an hour-long replay. But yeah. Look at that. We actually were able to increase our apoapsis. That's amazing. This thing has a lot of glide potential. And it's super stable. We can actually fly this thing. Isn't that great? So this is basically a skip re-entry because now we're going back up. See you later, Mark Vilbix. Brian, it is not confirmed. It is not confirmed that the wings will fold yet. This is all speculation. We'll find out on Monday, but I wanted to show you why they would fold the wings and why that is a potential. Not sure if it will, but in case they do, now we can answer why. Thank you, Riley. No, it was not clickbait. These people are just salty. That's funny. Install landing gear. We're trying to land it very gently on these. Okay. We might have to inject just a little. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a burn, which would be really weird. Can you imagine if they're like, oh yeah, go ahead and use up some of that fuel. Although it will make re-entry easier, or landing a little easier. Actually, no, it won't. That should be about right. Alright. Let's speed up time. I don't want to wait. That'll probably get flagged and someone will sue me over that. Why the wings will it land horizontally? No, it will not land horizontally, but in order to re-enter and have a low... You want to basically bleed off speed for as long amount of time as possible. The faster your entry, the quicker the heat either has to dissipate or ablate off. And doing it a very, very, if you can glide and have some kind of profile entry like this, like what we're doing, using the fuselage to glide it in, and using kind of little wings to keep it from flipping around backwards and things, the easier it is to refurbish, the less wear and tear on this vehicle, which is, I think, what it'll end up doing. Again, that's pretty big speculation, but we're going to try and slow down a little more. I'm nervous we're actually coming in a little too fast, but look at this. Because it's so stable, it wants to face this way. It wants if we turned it around, it'd flip back around. If it's spun or rolled, it'd want to face this way because of the way the wings are facing. So it's an extremely stable design. There we go. That's looking better. That's about right. We're just going to hold this now. In real life, landing profiles are going to look so weird. Half space shuttle, half Falcon 9. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Any idea how ablative would be handled on BFS? Would it be tiles or wrapped composite layup? I think they're using kind of their Pika. I've heard they basically are going to have giant panels that pop in. The idea is obviously you want the vehicle to be as uniform as possible so you can use the same panels and not all these individual custom one-off panels for everything. That's where cost runs up a lot. Okay, we're doing pretty good here. Yeah, so I would guess, my gut tells me that they will not use, that they're using some kind of like mildly ablative thing that can be reused 10 times or so. Oh, Scott Manley's in Lompoc. Well, unfortunately, I'll bet he, I don't hate free speech. I don't put anyone on blacklists. Sometimes our mods get a little... I told him, actually, we don't want people to be silenced, because we do get overrun with spam and other things occasionally. But no, it's important that people are here and able to answer questions. I think that's just as important as anything. But back to Scott Manley in Lompoc. He's coming from San Francisco, so my guess would be he's not going to be going down to LA, which is where I will be anytime soon. Those two things are quite far apart. He's only halfway to LA when he's in Lompoc. Okay, I'm trying really hard. I'm going to have to fire up these engines a little bit, just for control authority. That's not giving me the gimbaling I need. Weird, those vacuum engines turn off enhanced stability. That's weird. I did not realize they did that. Dang it, we're still going to land quite long. Well, we can try and do something very few people have ever survived doing, and that's just a blatant nosedive into the abyss. Now this will screw off a lot of speed and hopefully redirect us that way. This looks about right to me, to be honest. Now the hard part is I don't know how on earth we're going to be able to flip around 180 degrees. Aha, like this. Aha. Aha. Okay, we need to reverse all of these. Are we landing in water? No, we're not landing in water. This is good. I'm going to do a quick save real quick. I'm also going to un-auto strut this stuff and try to get that back. Oh god. It's flapping its wings like some kind of bird that's dying. Dying bird. Oh no. What's it doing? Why? It did not like when the engines turned on. Let's load up that quick save. Okay. Oh crap. Crap pants. Where's my mouse? What's my mouse doing? Why is it... Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're just gonna do this for now. Oh no. Oh, we needed a suicide burn way earlier. Okay, looks like we're turning on suicide burn right away. We might be too late on this already. That's scary. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and scrub off a bunch of speed so we can do the try to close in these legs at a low speed. We have a ton of delta V, so I'm not too worried. Okay. Let's get into a little bit of a... Okay, let's see if we can do this. Alright, now auto strut this back up. Alright, here we go. Now we got this, guys. I'm going to quick save again, because I am confident we can land this thing. Here we go. Oops. Stopped a little too early. We have plenty of delta V, don't worry about it. I need to land this thing with the grace of a penguin, though, because it's going to be very, very, very hard to land on those little fins. We don't have landing gear. Where we're going, we don't need landing gear. Look at that, just a nice, gentle hover. We're going to try to center our... There we go. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We did it! There we go. BFS. Landed a little ways off from where it's supposed to go, but... Wow. Boom. Woo! That felt good. There you go. That's why the wings are going to collapse on the BFS. That's why. Nice and stable re-entry. But yeah, we did it. It's, yeah, Fell Knight, that thing's tipping more than the Mav did in The Martian. Yeah, I would not want to be on that right now. But there we go. We did it. We could try to fly it back to KSC, but I actually think I'm going to close out because I'm going to be live streaming really early tomorrow morning for the last Delta II launch. Yeah. Oh, I have something to tell you guys. This is awesome. Besides the fact that obviously I'm going to SpaceX on Monday, something else almost as exciting, potentially more exciting, is happening. Ready for this? Oh, I can't wait to show you guys. Here we go. Watch this. Go to ourludicrousfuture.com or search for Our Ludicrous Future on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, or our YouTube channel. Click on any of these links, but go to Our Ludicrous Future. I'm a co-host of a podcast with Joe Scott from Answers with Joe and Ben Solons from Teslanomics. And we talk all things nerd. Kind of coincidentally, all these things revolve around Elon Musk because he's dabbling in all of the future tech. So now we have our first episode out. It's a little bit rough. You know, it's not the best quality, but we'll get better, I promise. But if you want to hear our new podcast, go to ourludicrousfuture.com. There you go. Now you can join and have something to listen to and watch. If you're on YouTube, you can watch it. If you're in the car, you can listen. But there you go. Find us wherever you guys are. Spotify, you know, YouTube, iTunes, whatever. Yeah, check that out. And again, like always, guys, remember to check out my pre-launch previews. Show your friends that because you're going to, you know, when the launches and stuff. What is this rocket? Boom, send them to pre-launch previews. Also, while you're on my website, check out my new shirts, guys. I've got lots of new fun shirts. Everydayastronaut.com. Then click on shop, and you'll see all these cool, shirts, all these cool mugs, new mugs, even like this one. Pictures, lots of fun stuff. So, makes good gifts for friends that are nerdy, or for yourself, because you're probably nerdy if you're watching this. No offense, I'm extremely nerdy. that's going to do it, guys. I'll be back tomorrow morning in my time in like, what, 12 hours or so? Yeah. There we go. And, hey, well, now we know how it has to work in real life. We can work in Kerbal, says David. Thank you, David. Darn right. We did the engineering, so SpaceX doesn't have to. We're done. Riley, join Patreon. You know about it early, boys. That's exactly right. Yeah, if you want to help me continue to do things like going out to SpaceX, being able to afford to do that, putting in that amount of time and energy, please consider becoming a Patreon member. Patreon.com/everydayastronaut. You can join our exclusive Discord channel and our exclusive subreddit as well. And we have a great community, and I am so appreciative of everyone that supports. So head on over there if you guys want to help out. But otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I can't wait. I'm also sad. I kind of don't want it to happen, but it is the last Delta II launch ever. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. And thank you guys. Hey, sis bro. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. That's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. Bye, everybody.